again. Welcome to this new edition of Business English Flash, a series of short videos produced by Telelangue, a Berlitz company, to help you with English in the workplace. If you want to learn more about Telelangue and take advantage of our offers, please visit us at www.telelangue.com or simply follow us on Facebook or Twitter at Telelangue. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. Business English Flash will be online twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday morning. I'll be here to provide you with tips to speak better business English. Feel free to like, share, and comment these videos. We welcome your interactions. Tell your friends. If you have any questions regarding the video lessons, please post them to our Twitter platform at Telelangue. Once a month, we will dedicate a whole spot to your questions. So please don't be shy, ask away. We are also aiming to organize real meetups where you'll be invited to use what you've learned to network with fellow followers over a drink. And now, on to today's lesson. We will be learning some key phrases and verbs used to talk about your company and your job. There will be many situations where you'll talk to a client or a coworker and they'll ask, "What do you do?" And then you ask yourself, "What do I do?" It's such a simple question, but it can be difficult to answer sometimes. First, let's start with your company. We'll be looking at the verb work with different prepositions. To say which company you work for, you can use I work at. For example, I work at ABC Solutions. I work at is only used for company names. To describe who you work for, meaning the company or person, you can say I work for. For example, you can say I work for ABC Agency or I work for Jean Patel. If you are self-employed, meaning you work for yourself, then you could say I work for myself. Now, to talk about where you work, like the physical space or the area that you work in, you can say I work in. Imagine a coworker asks you where you work in the company. I work in the marketing department. Or where you work is in the city. I work in Paris. Or the country. I work in Japan. Or maybe your client works in a different kind of place to you. For example, they work in an office and you don't. And they ask where you work. And you say, I work in a bank. Some people might ask which field you work in. I work in education. And what if they ask which industry you work in? Simple. I work in the tourism industry. We've looked at the verb work with the prepositions at, for, and in. Now, let's move on to talking about your job. Like I said before, sometimes it might be hard to describe what you do in a few lines. You may find yourself saying, I work... Maybe you know, but you haven't practiced enough. Let's look at some key phrases to talk about what you do for a living. Now, people will ask you this a lot. Hi, what do you do? Meaning, what do people pay you to do every day? You can say, I work as, and your job title. For example, I work as a manager, or I work as an engineer. Is also a simpler way to say what your job is. For example, I'm an assistant, or I'm a writer. Now, you must have some responsibility at your job, right? Let's look at 4 key verbs you can use to define your job responsibilities. Handle, manage, be in charge of, and be responsible for. You could essentially use all of these verbs to describe all of your responsibilities. But using a variety of verbs makes you sound more interesting. Now, imagine I'm a project manager. Let's have a look at what my responsibilities are with our verbs. So, I'm a project manager. I handle the budget. I manage a team of 15 people. I'm in charge of assigning tasks. I'm responsible for planning several projects. And there you have it. You learned how to describe your company using the verb work with different prepositions and how to talk about your job using 4 key verbs. Now you can describe your job in just a few lines. I advise you to practice, so the next time somebody asks, you feel more confident saying what it is you do, for whom, and where. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you've heard, give a thumbs up, share with your friends, and don't forget to send in your questions to Twitter at Telelangue, #bflash. See you next time!